Hi, I'm Dean the Reading Machine, and today I'm reading Julia Child. But this is not the Julia Child I'm reading, because look, it's too long. But this is the book that I'm reading today. That's the book that's from the library.
Who's reading that one?
What?
Who's reading that one?
This one, Mommy, and this one, Mommy.
Yes, we got matching books this week at the library.
I can't believe it.
But you were reading the long one with me, the life of My Life in France. It's called. You read that one with me. Did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit strange.
Why?
The book I'm reading is based on her life.
Who's her?
Julia.
Julia Child, right?
Yeah, but this doesn't show like Paul Childs.
Oh, right. You're right. Her husband. Yeah, it doesn't. You're right. But it shows her friend. What's her friend's name?
Simca.
Simca. Yeah, her friend's name is Simca, who is really her friend in the book, in her life. Yeah.
We didn't think it was, but I thought you didn't think.
Yeah, and then we found it in the biography that she actually did have a friend named Simca that she went to cooking school with and she cooked with.
Well, they didn't kind of like, she turned into an adult. I think Simca died before Julia. Did Simca die before Julia?
I'm not sure.
We have to keep reading and see.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because Mommy's not finished that book.
And this book doesn't like kind of tell the story how Julia fell in love with France, right?
Right. Not really. It doesn't. You're right. It just talks about how she fell in love with being a child. And
Yeah,
she wants to she wants to live like she is a child forever.
But look, she didn't have she wasn't a baby, right? She wasn't a baby, right?
No, she's just little. Yeah, she's just little.
She was just little, but she was older.
Oh, right. In her real life, she started cooking like in her late 30s.
And when did she fell in love with
With Paul?
what?
With Paul?
No, when did she fell in love with Somerton? No.
Oh, that dish.
Yeah.
Yeah, she falls in love with a dish, and that's actually true. She falls in love with a dish that she tried at the first time she went to France with her husband. And the first dish she tried, she loved it so much, that's how she knew she was going to be in love with Paris.
But then she moved to France, right?
Paris, France, yeah. Paris is in France.
Oh, right. So they moved to France. The first they lived in Paris.
Paris is in France. Paris is in France.
Okay, so where did she live first?
I think in Sacramento, which is on the West Coast, California.
And then she moved to France.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why it says My Life in France.
My Life in France. That's right.
Hey, what happens at the end?
I don't know. We'll find out. But first, let's read this book, right?
Let's start reading.
All right.
Okay.
So this is the book that I'm reading, and this is the book that Dean is reading today.
Julia Childs. When Julia was very little, she had a splendid meal of
Sol Monnier.
Saumonier. And that was that. Julia fell in love with French food. She loved to eat it. She loved to eat French food, and she especially loved to cook it. On weekend, she and her friend Simca would shop at the market and gather new ideas and recipes. Back home in the kitchen, things didn't always turn out quite the way they expected or hoped. But together they took cooking and baking classes and practice and learned a few tricks. Like many good friends, Julia and Simca sometimes disagreed about little things, but they never disagreed about the larger things.
What are the rules?
Some things are like sisters. You can never use too much butter, and it's best to be a child forever. When they dreamt in the future, they always pictured themselves cooking happily together. The oldest child in the world.
The oldest children in the world.
The oldest children in the world. Life was filled with far too many grown-ups who did not know how to
To have a marvelous time.
The girls had no wish to become big, busy people, worn and worried, hectic and hurried. One day, Julia and Simca had an idea how to fix things for themselves, and the grown-ups, they knew they would make recipes for growing young. Each day for a week, they worked on their dishes and cooked extra slowly to bring out the flavors of no hurrying. They used delicate spices so that the worries would disappear and wonders would rise to the surface. When they were ready, they set a beautiful table, making sure the flowers were fresh and the cups were full. As the savory scents of cooking wafted through the streets, a curious crowd began to gather. Soon, all sorts of big, busy people wanted a place at the table.
They wanted a place at the table.
And what a table it was! Fluffy clouds of cheese, souffle, perfect loaves of crusty baguette, a golden comfort of fresh peaches, sweet as summer sunlight. At first, the room was very quiet, as the grown-ups nibbled and sampled. Then the room began to fill with a sound of shriek of pleasure, a shout of delight. All those big, busy people who were weighed down with worries. They couldn't remember the last time they climbed a tree, ferry rode, or even rode a bicycle. Never watched cartoons and only read
biographies.
Well, they began to have a marvelous, roundy, childlike time. But then things started to not so marvelously. As they ate, the grown-ups began to argue. It seemed they were very hungry, too hungry. They were hungry for the fun they had forgotten and the games they played. They grabbed the food all at once, fearful it would not last. Just look at them, said Julia. Where did we go wrong? I think the problem is not that the world is filled with too many grown-ups, said Simca. The problem, said Julia, is too many grown-ups don't have a proper ingredients.
They don't have the proper ingredients.
They don't have the proper ingredients. So for their last recipe, the two friends mixed a few things, adding a pinch of this and a dash of that. They made smaller portions, not too little and not too big, just enough to feed the sensible children, from whom the senseless grown-ups grew. The room felt quiet.
Petit gâteau, yep.
Chocolate almond cupcakes with chocolate butter icing, and the richest,
yep.
creamy centers, each morsel was so delightful,
Delicious.
delicious. There is plenty enough for us all, announced Julia, so the grown-ups would get over the feelings of never enoughness, and it worked this time. When they ate the cakes, they were a little less beastly, and
a little more
generous. Well, sort of. The truth is, grown-ups often need some extra help. Baffled, and befuddled. Middles,
mindless and muddled.
They sometimes forget what they know. So Julia and Simca made a cookbook to remind them.
Mastering the Art of Childhood.
And subscribe to my channel below if you want to tell me one of your favorite books.
Yeah, they can comment, right? And then me and Dean will go to the library and we'll try and find your favorite books and we'll try and read them on the channel.
I do new videos every Saturday. See you later, folks, and have a wonderful day.